You've said that the police started taking down placards in the bandstand as well. What sort of thing did those placards say?
I don't remember. I didn't take a note of what the banners or placards said.
Okay, so they could have been placards which were not really akin to a vigil of people who wanted to come and actually be respectful to the murder of Sarah Everard, but people who had a political agenda who were there. And certainly some of the placards that I saw on the news coverage, which had phrases like F the police and things like that, I think probably had an agenda and a political agenda rather than were there at a respectful vigil. Would you agree that?
Well, I think that's a matter of perception based on the people who brought those banners and placards to the event. I also think that to pretend that a vigil of a woman who was murdered, it was not in some way political, that the issues involved were not political, I don't know how you could reach that interpretation.
Okay, but I think most reasonable people would say that you don't come along to a vigil which has been organised to pay respect and empathise with the horrific murder of a young woman, brings along a placard which makes a statement like F the police. That's not normal kit for a vigil, is it?
Well, I can't comment on those people's feelings, but given the events that led up to that week and what people understood about the death of Sarah Everard and how she was murdered and who by, I think I can imagine why people were feeling why they were.
Okay, I think most people would agree that that's not appropriate things to have at a genuine vigil, and there does seem to be a big discrepancy here as to what is a vigil and what is a protest. I mean, does Black Protest Legal Support have a political agenda, Mr. Ferris?
Our only agenda is to provide legal observers at protests to monitor police presence.
So it has no political agenda?
As I said, the only agenda it has is to provide legal observers at protests to monitor police presence.
So earlier you just described the role of Black Protest Legal Support is stifling protests, there to monitor stifling protests that seeks to shine a light on state violence. Isn't claiming there is such a thing as state violence a political agenda?
I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but I don't think so, no.
Well, you've just used that phrase about the role of you and of Black Protest Legal Support. It's about intervening or monitoring the police when they're stifling protests that seek to shine a light on state violence. Can you not see that that is a political statement?
Well, first of all, I'm a legal observer and I'm a volunteer there. I'm not a member of the committee and I'm not in a leadership position there. So I don't think it's for me to comment on what you're saying is the agenda of Black Protest Legal Support.
But that's what you just said. You are part of an organisation, whether you're speaking for them or not. You are there as a volunteer of an organisation where you've said their role, in part, is to shine a light on state violence. That is a political statement. We may agree with it or not, but it's a political statement, yes?
No, unfortunately, I think you're getting mixed up there. I didn't say that that was Black Protest Legal Support's agenda. As I said, we provide legal observers to monitor protests which seek to do so, not the fact that we seek to do so.
Okay, well, we'll perhaps look at the transcript later because I copied down word for word what you said, but thank you very much.